Hey guys, my name is Viham, and welcome to this very first episode of this new tutorial series. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you guys how to use Python. It's mainly targeted towards beginners, but later on we'll be going into more advanced stuff. Now, in this very first episode, I'll be showing you guys how to install Python, how to get an IDE up and running, and how to check if everything works correctly. So let's get started. There are a number of ways to install Python. For Windows and Mac, I recommend using the website. If you're on Linux, just use your distributions package manager and you should be good to go. For Windows 10 users, you can just open up your Windows Store, go to search, and search for Python. And then you see a number of different versions. I recommend installing the latest one. This tutorial is specifically made for Python 3.9, but it will work for most versions. Probably, like, the basics will be the same. However, if there are like big changes in like Python 4 or whatever, I'll be making a new tutorial series on that. But once again, for Mac users and other Windows users, I recommend just using the Python website. So let's get started. Just go to python.org. And you will be created with this page. Just go to the Downloads button up here and press Download Python 3.9.2 on this yellow button over here and save the file. Once it's downloaded, simply open it up. And you'll be greeted with this little window. Now, first things first, right on the bottom here, it asks you if you want to add Python 3.9 to your path. If you've never installed Python before, I recommend doing this if you want to use Python 3.9. Like, if you just want to use Python 3.9. Basically, what this does is it tells your Windows that whenever you mean Python, you probably mean Python 3.9. It will just be recognized as a program wherever you use it. I recommend doing this for most of you, but it's completely optional. If you want to like have a specific installation directory, you can customize the installation with this button. But for most of you guys, just press install now over here, and then you just let it install. Alrighty then. So once it's done installing, it should say that the setup was successful. If for some reason it doesn't, leave a comment down below and I'll help you out. If it does, just press close and you're good to go. Now, you probably also want an IDE. An IDE is basically just an advanced text editor that just shows you a lot of useful stuff about your code. It also gives you like a number of different useful tools to help you debug your code and stuff like that. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how to install the PyCharm IDE. That's the IDE I personally recommend for beginners. If you're a little bit more advanced, I personally enjoy using Visual Studio Code. However, if you're more of an advanced user or you don't care about an IDE, you can basically use any text editor, as long as you're writing valid Python code. Alright, so let's get started on installing PyCharm. This is the same on Linux, Mac, and Windows. However, I still recommend using your distributions package manager if you're running Linux. So you're just going to go to jetbrains.com/PyCharm. I'll be leaving the links to this in the description, so you can just click those. So once you're on the website, you'll see this big black download button. Just press that. Take note of this little menu. It should say your operating system. If it doesn't, like if you're running Mac and it's got Windows selected, simply just switch over to the right one. You also see there are two different versions. You've got professional and you've got community. Professional is paid, but it's usually it's all kind of stuff that you don't need. For most of you, I just recommend using the community edition, which is completely free and open source. Just press download and save it. Once it's downloaded, you can just open it up right here. once it's open, you'll be greeted with this little welcome message. Just press next. And here you'll be asked where you want to where you want to install PyCharm. The default destination will be fine for most of you guys. If, however, you want to install it on a different drive, or you've got like a custom location where you want to install it, just browse and just save it there. But for most of you guys, this will be fine, so just press next. Now you've got a number of different options here. For most of you guys, I recommend pressing all 3 of these. Basically what it does is this just adds a desktop shortcut on your desktop. This option, if you select it, allows you to, when you're in your Windows Explorer, you've got like a folder of your code. You can just right click it and do open folder as project, and it will open up the folder in PyCharm. So if you want that, just select that. And for most of you guys, if you just want to use PyCharm as your IDE, I recommend pressing this option. Basically, if you've got a Python file, what this allows you to do is just double click it and it'll open up PyCharm automatically. I personally am not going to do that because I've got my own preferred IDE that I use, and that is not PyCharm. So just go to next and then press install. Alrighty then. Once it's done installing, I recommend running PyCharm Community Edition so we can test out if Python works. So just press finish. Okay, so for me, because I've already had PyCharm installed before, it will ask this if I want to import old settings. For you guys, it won't show this. For you guys, it will show a privacy policy that you have to accept if you want to use it, and it will ask you guys if you want to send statistical data to JetBrains, which you can just accept or decline whether you want to or not. But for me, it will just ask this because I've already had it installed before and I've already accepted the privacy policy and such. So once you did that, it should open up with this, and I recommend opening a new project, give it a random name. I'm going to call mine Python test because it's to test Python. Python test, fine. Right, so once you open it the first time, it will show you some tips, and it will keep showing you this every time you open it. If you don't want this, just press don't show tips and press close. But for some of you, that might be useful if you've never used an IDE before. Just browse through some tips and close out of it again. Now let's let this load for a bit. In the bottom you can see it's still loading some stuff. And once it's done doing that, right, yeah. You can see it open up a sample Python script. What all of this is, I'll explain in the next video. But for now, we're just going to press the green arrow in the top right, and we should see Hi PyCharm over here. If you don't see this, or this doesn't work, or something went wrong, just let me know down in the comments below and I'll help you guys out. But that's basically it. We've got Python and we've got an IDE that allows us to edit our code, write our code. So that's it basically. In the next video, I'll be showing you guys how the basic Python syntax works and what all of this means. If you had any issues installing Python or whatever following this tutorial, let me know down in the comments below and I'll help you guys out. So thank you all guys, thank you all for watching. If you liked this content and it helped you out, consider subscribing or liking this video if you want more of this content. I'll be leaving links to all the websites in the description, as well as leave a link to the playlist in the description down below. So once again, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.